Welcome back to my channel. D23 expo has just ended and we have just gotten major movie news. Alright, Marvel at the D23 expo with Marvel coming up with Vision Quest. So Vision Quest is a part of the WandaVision TV show. This is in a part of the Wanda trilogy as a way of showcasing this character. If you don't know who White Vision is, he is a character first introduced in WandaVision, with Vision making a video breaking down this trailer. I'll be making a video tomorrow, actually. But basically, if you don't know, this show takes place basically in WandaVision, Agatha all along, and then you have this show as well. With WandaVision taking inspiration from House of M comics, Avengers the Symbol run, and Vision 2015 run. Now, a little bit of that TV show is basically Wanda that builds a force field to host her family. And then, as well, the military is building a new version of Vision, as basically Vision is broken and then he becomes White Vision. So, if you don't know what White Vision is, I'll talk a little bit more in my breakdown of this character, but basically, he is a cool character with various understandings of morality and just in general awesomeness. So then we have Vision. So Vision is a character that I was very excited for when it comes to this TV show. So Vision Quest is a trailer dropped. They announced the trailer, and Ultron is returning into the MCU. I am also going to be explaining in that trailer breakdown how that character being brought back into the MCU can be a massive impact overall, as it can further it can really put an impact into the MCU that I would honestly want to see. If you don't know Ultron basically was a character that was in the 2012 Avengers Age of Ultron film. Now this film it's a very long character. I am very much excited to see him coming back, as he is one of those characters that I've been really disappointed on when it comes to Marvel characters that have been adapted into comic books. You know, he's such a cool character when it comes to when it comes to TV format and just in general, that sort of stuff. Now, Vision series is taking inspiration from the West Coast Avengers run. So, if you don't know what happens in this run, basically Vision is reformed, but this time a bit different into that of White Vision, and basically in my trailer breakdown, which I'm going to be making tomorrow, I'm gonna be explaining to you basically what I think they're gonna be doing with White Vision in the show, what I think is really cool going further with this character, and in general, what I think they should do when it comes to making this character feel great. And honestly, I'm excited for that. So if you want to stay tuned for that video, please do. It's gonna be awesome. But this TV show looks amazing. I feel like it looks a lot similar to that of WandaVision, which is really different to that of Wonder Man. Who, now, if you don't know, Wonder Man is a character that is associated with Vision. So you would assume that if you're going to do what I'm going to talk about in my next video, you know, a Vision Quest show, then maybe, just maybe, we could lead to a West Coast Avengers. West Coast fans, we all know that we have to have a West Coast Avengers eventually. MCU, please. I would actually really like to see a West Coast Avengers, as it's a team that's really awesome. And you know, Hawkeye's in the team. Okay, he's awesome. So I'm really excited with this show. It looks really cool. It looks very formidable. The White Vision might have been is getting a new design. I can see it maybe being inspired by this look, because I think it looks similar based on what I've seen on in the trailer. But I can't fully see the suit, as it is a trailer. It's gotta show you clips and stuff of these kind of things. As you know, the previous suit was very much dark green, not so much bright and colorful when it comes to the color scaling, and so this suit does look different in a sense, right? Now, I'm not talking about the White Vision suit, as that is a different suit compared to this, and it is a very, very fascinating suit as well, which makes sense because this is a different version of that character that we had in, since Age of Ultron, right? If you don't know, this is a little bit about this one. This version is a Vision that basically is streaming October. So the next character Marvel brought up into the panel was Avengers Doomsday. So Avengers Doomsday is coming out this year, right? So they brought in Robert Downey Jr., who came up to the stage after Hugh Jackman had his whole thing, Jiggy. And this trailer looks amazing, okay? Now, there's been about 2 trailers, right? There's been Avengers Doomsday teaser. Now, this film does take inspiration from the Time Run Out comics, and of course, leading from that comic to the Secret Wars comic, right? If you don't know, you have to read the Time Runs Out comic and the Secret Wars comic to understand. Well, you don't really need to read a Secret Wars comic to understand this comic, right? It's more or less basically, it's basically Avengers versus, Avengers. So basically, it's similar to Civil War, I guess. But instead of it being Captain America against Iron Man, it's Avengers versus Avengers. Well, Sam's team versus Avengers with a Z. But, I mean, this trailer looks amazing. It's showing us a lot of Doctor Doom, which is obviously very cool because if you don't know, Doctor Doom is a character that I have really liked when it comes to screens. He's always been a character I've been hoping to see Marvel do when it comes to a lot of these characters. And so I'm really excited that they're doing this character in more broadened aspects, as he is a character that I'm very excited to see be done with that of a more broadened scope. As you know, Doctor Doom is going to be the main villain of this film, but he's actually going to be more like a kind of similar role to that of, Thanos, which I think is really cool, and I think the Russo brothers can really do that character, right? Which is awesome to see. You see that kind of comparison to like Johnny and his son. Johnny and Franklin, which I am really excited for. If for some reason, yes, the Fox X-Men are turning again, Marvel. Alright? So, the Fox X-Men, they're characters that I'm really excited to see in this film. And personally, my favorite film is their first Fox X-Men film. Sorry for my spelling in the previous slide there, I messed up the spelling. I probably will make a quotation mark saying sorry. But yeah, I'm really excited, especially since there's a lot of characters here that I'm very much anticipating to be in key characters, such as Thor, such as Sam Wilson, who in the comics he's very much a difficult, difficult character to read. I mean, really difficult, but he's a cool character. He has moralities because he values the government versus Steve Rogers, who values more of the nation, right? They both have different values. And so then Marvel went on to their X-Men. So the X-Men, yes, Marvel finally announced their X-Men cast with um, with the X-Men being, of course. Now I can finally talk about it, okay? So, with the members so far being Rogue. Now, Rogue is a character that I've actually really liked. I've seen her in X-Men 97, Season 1 and 2, and I've really enjoyed her kind of contradictory within the filming aspects. And I'm actually really excited to see Indy Navarati. I'm sorry if I spelled your name wrong. I've actually never seen her, but she sounds like a cool character. Next is, of course, Jean Grey. Sorry for my spelling there. So Jean Grey is going to obviously be played by Sadie Sink. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, I would go watch that really much. It sets up that of Jean Grey, and it really gives us a broad and different aspect to that of Jean. Jean is a character that has really much always been done kind of softly in the Fox X-Men. She has a really weird thing where she has this kind of love interest with, Wolverine, which is funny because, yeah, it's just weird. Okay, but the next member is Cyclops, the man of the hour, the man I am very excited for. So, Cyclops is going to be played by an actor. I just did not put the actor's name there. He does sound like a good actor, though. Please note that I know that Cyclops is the leader in the X-Men. And, oh yeah, he's going to be played by Kit Connors. So Kit Connors does look like he's a cool guy. I don't have a photo of him here, but I'm really excited to see Cyclops, especially since Cyclops is a character associated with both Jean and stuff like that. And then there was Emma Frost, who is played by Samara Weaving, who I actually don't know much of her works, but she does look like a cool actress to play this character. When it comes to Emma Frost, she's kind of a weird thing. She's kind of in the X-Men, she's kind of not. She was also part of the Hellfire Club, which I think could be an inspiration for this film if they're going through, that kind of storyline. But, and of course, you gotta have Charles Xavier, because you gotta have to kill him off again. I don't know the actress who's playing Charles Xavier. I do have his name here, but like I said, I don't know most of these actresses, which is probably why I'm very much excited to see this film, as I think it's a broadened way for me to get to know more of these actresses' performances. I do know Adam Driver, who has played many roles, such as in The Force Awakens as like maybe the villain. He was the Darth Vader replacement. But when it comes to Sinister, he is a villain usually tied to for a friction in absolute control. Basically, he's tied to cloning, okay? He's very much a cloning person. And that was the Marvel panel. So Marvel basically then went off, and then it was Star Wars. But further than that, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video. And if you guys would like to subscribe, and yeah, goodbye.